I felt my father's hand tremble as he raised his glass. In the bright light of the grand hall, the chandeliers glittered above me, cut crystals scattering light like daggers across the polished marble, each glint a reminder of my own shattered world. 1 year after Tate married Alina, my fiancé once, Conrad Merrick stood before me, beaming, as if nothing had changed. He held his glass aloft, a rehearsed smile curving his lips. "Congratulations, son," he said warmly, raising a toast to Tate. My brother mirrored the gesture with a smug grin, his eyes never flicking in my direction. I stood to the side, an invisible spectator at the celebration of my destruction. When my father set his glass down, the clink echoed in my chest like a hammer blow. He turned to me, face impassive. "Rinsdu Kellen, $900. By Sunday, you're an adult now." His words, clipped and devoid of affection, struck deeper than any insult. I forced my jaw not to clench so tightly my teeth might crack. "Why do I pay?" I asked, my voice rough. "While he gets rewarded?" I pressed the question as if my life depended on it. "Because he's worth it," my father replied smoothly, as though discussing the weather. "Worth it." Tate? The brother who slid into Alina's life and stole my future was worth a luxury car. I, on the other hand, was worth a monthly rent check. I glanced at Alina, her polite smile, a thin veil over her guilt. My ring finger twitched, where her engagement ring once rested, a constant irritant. I tasted bile as applause rippled around me, faces blurred, my mother's eyes watered, friends whispered. Colleagues nodded, sympathetically. I forced a smile that tasted like ash. The memory surged, unbidden. That night, when I discovered them, in my apartment. Tate, lurking behind the door with that triumphant grin. Alina's eyes flickering with shame. My heart had dropped. The world tilted off its axis. My car slammed into the guardrail mere moments later, torn metal matching the scream in my soul. I remembered the antiseptic odor of the ER, bright lights overhead, Tate calling our parents, soothing them with lies as I lay bleeding. Today, the betrayal felt orchestrated by my father's indifference, his selective love, paying Tate, discarding me. I swallowed the urge to yell, to punch a hole through the elegant wall panels, to strip the veneer and expose every lie. But I could not give my father the satisfaction. Instead, I turned away from the center of attention, letting guests step aside as I made my way toward the exit. Behind me, laughter and music throbbed like a migraine. My shoes squeaked on the marble as I passed rows of banquet tables, plates of half-eaten hors d'oeuvres, empty wine goblets gleaming under crystal light. My senses felt muted, as though I watched through thick glass. I tried not to flinch at the stares. Pity, curiosity, satisfaction. Each step away from the ballroom felt like shedding a layer of skin I no longer recognized as mine. When the grand doors opened, a cool night breeze wrapped around me, slicing through my suit like a revelation. The moon hung low over the manicured gardens, pale and silent. I paused, catching my breath, as the noise inside receded. The distant murmur of voices faded to a hum. Replaced by rustling leaves and quiet wind, the lawn stretched out before me, dew-kissed grass glinting in the moonlight. I could almost hear Tate's laughter drifting on the wind, Alina leaning into him, my father nodding in proud approval. They wouldn't think of me again tonight. A surge of anger and clarity flooded my veins. I recalled the nights I spent scrimping for therapy sessions, paying out of pocket despite dwindling savings, the internships I crushed myself with, the side jobs, the grind to prove I was more than a trust fund. We had built something together, Alina and I, but my father's approval always lurked behind every success. Now that approval had evaporated, leaving behind a cavity of betrayal too deep to fill. Pulled out my phone. A barrage of missed calls. My mother, please come home. Tate, bro, can we talk? Even Alina's number glowed insistently, though I refused to look. I swiped the screen until it powered off, a barrier forged between me and the wreckage of a life I once called mine. My mind drifted to Eden's Cross, a coastal town where our grandfather once lived, a place so far removed from Merrick Manor, my name meant nothing there. I had made silent plans, packed a duffel bag, set aside savings envelopes. I had contacts in that town who respected my work, repairing antiques, enough to rent a room above a cafe. No one there would expect the Merrick name to mean anything. I could build something new. From the ground up, I took a step forward, onto the gravel path. Each crunch beneath my feet felt like liberation. The moonlight guided me toward the road, leading away from the estate. I felt fear tug at my chest. Fear of the unknown, of failure, of loneliness. But that fear paled next to the weight of betrayal, humiliation, and wasted devotion. I exhaled, letting the breath carry away every doubt. I'd held for months. In my pocket, I felt the envelope, thick with the last of my savings. Enough for a fresh start. I straightened my shoulders, inviting the breeze to cool my skin. The night air was crisp, freeing. I passed the marble pillars, gleaming white in the moonlight, reminders of a life built on lies, privilege balanced on the backs of the betrayed. I thought of the therapy journals I had abandoned, pages filled with fears and hopes, thoughts that now felt like an alien language. I had once thought I needed validation, from a father who saw me as a liability, from a brother who saw my love as an open door. That illusion shattered tonight. I refused another day of pretending I belonged to a family that used me as collateral. I climbed the slight incline of the driveway, the mansion's silhouette dark against the sky, soft music still drifting out, the final notes of their celebration. I let them be. I didn't want apologies or explanations. I wanted only one thing: to become the person I was meant to be, free from their strings. At the crest of the hill, I looked back. The grand hall bathed in golden light, laughter spilling from its windows. I felt a spark of emotion, sorrow that I had lost my place, relief that I no longer needed to earn it. Lifted my chin and made a vow. I would forge a life from my own choices, not my father's ledger. Not Tate's ambition. I would find people who saw me, not a pawn, not a name, but a man. The path stretched before me, illuminated by moonlight and fireflies dancing in the dew. No footsteps followed, no voices called my name. I was on my own, terms now, and I exhaled slowly, shoulders relaxing, stepping into the unknown.